I can't believe it. It's real. Pokemon Z is real! This was so funny. You had Johto and Unova fans over here fighting for weeks about who get a rushed remake announced for Pokemon Day, just for Pokemon Z to rise from the dead. After all these years, all the memes, all the speculation about if this game even existed. It's official, we're in the best timeline. We're getting a brand new Legends game set in Kalos with Mega Evolution, arriving in 2025. I've never been so happy for a game not to release soon. Wait, it's called Pokemon Z to A? Pokemon Za? Pizza? Whatever, that means no new Pokemon game this year. Now that's a Christmas miracle. Though you might say I'm getting a little bit too excited for a CGI trailer that doesn't show any gameplay. And you'd be right. Without any concrete information about the game, the best we can do is speculate and hope. A lot. But thankfully, we do have concrete information that the entirety of the game will take place within Lumiose City.
What?
No, alright. I know that sounds bad.
Now, before you get your pitchforks and torches for a regular Pokemon fan riot, allow me to explain why this isn't a bad thing. Look, I get it. The appeal of Legends is going to a vast open world, finding Pokemon in their natural habitat, studying, battling, and catching them. But if this is the approach that they're taking for Z, then it seems to be the complete antithesis to what people liked about Arceus, not to mention Pokemon as a whole. Instead of a world to explore, you're now limited to one city, which seems like a step back, and to be fair, I also wanted to see the rest of Kalos so badly. However, we shouldn't ignore the possible benefits. For one, this means that Lumiose City is going to be huge. By far the largest city in any Pokemon game that has the proper focus put into it to feel like a living, breathing place without the characters popping in every 5 feet. Lumiose City is going to be expanded upon with new locations, roads, alleyways, and more. If you got lost in the original Lumiose City, then this is going to be a total nightmare for you. And there could be a bigger emphasis on side quests, more notable NPCs, and just building upon the groundwork that Legends Arceus already laid down. The real question we should be asking is how will Pokemon's formula work in an urban environment? Because it's no longer don't go into the tall grass, it's don't go into the alleyway, dear, that's where the homicidal Meowth lives.
That's right.
I doubt the aggro mechanic from Arceus will return because that means I could just be minding my own business and then out of nowhere Hawlucha dropkicks me for being French. And where are they gonna put all of them? While looking at the map, we can easily divide Lumiose into 5 sections, each one being fairly large and containing parks, stadiums, waterways, and so many more nooks and crannies where they can put Pokemon. Plus, we haven't even gotten to the possibilities of the sky and underground tunnels. Just saying, I better be able to go to the top of Prism Tower. That view would be amazing. Just how Game Freak will implement Pokemon into a city landscape definitely has me the most intrigued about Pokemon Z. Though I'm making a bet right now that this map is a complete lie. At least at first. Remember, the trailer called it the urban redevelopment plan of Lumiose City, so what we see here may just be what it looks like at the end of the game. Think of how Jubilee Village in Arceus was continually expanded upon throughout the game, but on a much larger scale as sections of Lumiose City become available. My second bet is that much like Arceus, this game takes place before modern times as we build Lumiose City into the spectacle it is today. Of course, that means that all the important Kalos characters will be getting ancestors too, which begs the question if Lysander's ancestor is just a really cool guy, or does genocide run in the family? And wait, I have one more bet. Don't worry, you're gonna love this one. That rollerblades will return. I don't care if it doesn't make sense for the time, Lumiose City and rollerblades has to be a universal constant in Pokemon. Let me rail grind and throw Pokeballs at the same time like it's Jet Set Radio, please. I will forgive the entire game being set in Lumiose City if this is possible. Wishful thinking aside, perhaps another reason the entire game takes place within the city was to emphasize trainer battles a whole lot more, as we can clearly see arenas set up all around, or we can just find some poor schmuck on the streets and bully him. Does that mean there'll be online multiplayer? Probably not, because this is Legends, a more single player focused experience. Which would make it infinitely funnier now that they're bringing back Mega Evolution for a game that doesn't have online multiplayer. And right, they're bringing back Megas! I'm not over the top hyped about them coming back, but I am hoping for some new forms for Pokemon that deserve them. Listen, if Pokemon Z didn't die, then don't lose hope, Flygon fans. Or what if the Kalos starters actually get Megas? I know Ash Greninja exists, but let's give a new form to Greninja that doesn't have Ash's hair on it, because that's just weird. And maybe they'll make some changes to the mechanic, like actually basing it around the bonds with our Pokemon like it's supposed to be. I've gone long enough without even talking about the main legend himself, Zygarde, and how will being stuck in Lumiose City tie to him. They might continue the trend of having the legendary be your best friend or god on speed dial, by giving you a Zygarde core at the beginning and then collecting the rest throughout the game. I swear if that means Zygarde is just going to be the Wisp quest from Arceus again, then so help me! Wait a minute, he was the original! On the other hand, Pokemon could be tackling another environmental story again, because Zygarde only shows up when the ecosystem of Kalos is down the drain. And since this game's premise is centered around the redevelopment of Lumiose City to create a place for people and Pokemon to coexist, my bet is that the villain will be a rich guy, a celebrity, or my boss, probably a combination of the three. Oh, and the final battle better be at the top of Prism Tower, that would be so cool! Regardless, I'm expecting to see a guillotine stand somewhere because hey, this is France. Comme c'est joli. Though we'll have to wait a while for that beautiful 2025 release date, which is, I'm not kidding, the best news from the trailer. Because that means that this project will have had, at minimum, 3 years of development time, and maybe even more. I was so worried that they're going to rush it for the 2024 holiday, so it's nice to see them take their time for once. But when 2025 is the question? January, February, March, July? Speculation is running rampant about the release of Nintendo's next console, which is rumored to be March of 2025. And to look at this from Nintendo's perspective, having a Pokemon game at launch? That would be the first time a Pokemon game appears on a console in its first year, not to mention how much that alone will sell. Of course, it might just be cross-gen and released for both the Switch and the new console for maximum profit. That sounds the most likely. Either way, I'm so excited to see this new approach for Pokemon. Just gotta wait until the summer to truly see what this game is. So I suggest you just sit tight, wait, and focus on more important things in life than Pokemon. But I hope that this is a step in the right direction for the series that allows for more time between releases and even better games. As long as Generation 10 comes out in 2026, I will breathe easy. But will the game look good though? See you later.